Hello and welcome back to From a Head Teacher's Perspective with me, Paul Urry. Stepping towards headship begins not with structures, policies or planning, but with belief. Before a future head can decide how to lead, they must understand why. The journey to headship demands more than operational skill. It requires moral courage, self-knowledge, and a deep connection to purpose. This first unit focuses on the foundation of all authentic leadership, the clarity of values. As roles become more complex and as the demands of accountability increase, it becomes easier to lose sight of what drew us to education in the first place. By returning to our values, we reconnect with that sense of vocation. Leadership purpose is not a slogan to repeat at interview. It is a compass. It helps you hold steady when decisions are unpopular, when pressure mounts, and when the future feels uncertain. Knowing your why transforms leadership from a job into a calling. So by the end of this unit, I'd like you to be able to identify the personal and professional values that shape your leadership. I'd like you to be able to articulate how those values guide daily actions, communication, and decision making. To recognize the link between moral purpose and trust within a school community. And to reflect on the relationship between individual conviction and collective vision. Finally, to draft the foundation of a personal leadership purpose statement. 1. Leadership begins with belief. Every school leader has a story, a reason they chose to lead. For some, it began with a teacher who inspired them. For others, it was a sense of injustice or a moment of change that ignited a conviction to make education fairer, kinder, or more ambitious. In headship, belief becomes your anchor. When the system feels heavy or when decisions divide opinion, belief gives you that direction. It reminds you that leadership is not about compliance, but contribution. Not about titles, but transformation. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So reflect on what first called you to lead. Was it curiosity, service, a desire to build belonging? Understanding the origin of your motivation helps sustain it when challenges come. So some reflective prompts. What first inspired you to lead others? What moments in your career reaffirm that you are doing something that matters? How have your core beliefs about education evolved since I began teaching? 2. Values and action. Values are not aspirations, they are behaviours. They show up in how you greet people in the morning, how you respond to a parental complaint, or how you hold a difficult conversation with compassion. A future head's credibility will rest less on policies than none on consistency. How faithfully actions align with words. When you live your values, others begin to trust your leadership even before they fully understand your strategy. Take honesty, for example. Many leaders say they value it, but it only becomes visible when honesty is inconvenient, when you must speak truth to power or own a mistake publicly. Courage, integrity, kindness, all values only exist when tested. So some questions. Which 3 values would you want others to use to describe your leadership? How visible are those values in your current practice? Which recent decision best reflects what you stand for? Which one challenged it? 3. Purpose as anchor. Schools are dynamic, often chaotic places. There will be days when your diary changes 6 times, when priorities compete, when crises demand immediate response. Without a strong sense of purpose, leaders can begin to drift, reacting to circumstances rather than leading through it. Purpose acts as ballast. It steadies you. It reminds you that every small action sits within a larger story. When leadership feels transactional, purpose restores it by moral dimension. It connects personal fulfillment with professional duty. Your purpose doesn't have to be poetic or grand. It has to be true. For one leader, it might be to create a culture where every child feels known. For another, to give teachers back their joy. The clarity matters more than the wording. So some questions. Why do you want to lead a whole school and not just a classroom or team? What does success in education look like through your eyes, not Ofsted's or anybody else's? Who or what reminds you why this work matters? 4. Aligning purpose and practice. In headship, tension often lies between ideals and implementation. The role pulls leaders between vision and reality. The ambition of what could be and the limits of time, budgets and policy. Purpose helps you navigate that tension with integrity. When personal values align with a school's ethos, decisions feel natural and energy flows. When they don't, every action feels effortless. The wisest leaders seek context where they can live their purpose authentically, where personal and organizational values reinforce, not compete. Sometimes alignment requires courage. It means saying no to opportunities that look impressive, but conflict with your principles. It means leading a school, not just well, but well for the right reasons. Some questions. In what way do your current setting reflect your leadership values? Where are the tensions between your principles and the system you want to work within? How might you protect integrity as responsibility grows? 5. Values, vision and legacy. The most compelling school visions are not written for posters, but lived through people. They are rooted in the head teacher's purpose and reflected in every conversation, policy and priority. A clear personal purpose becomes contagious. It influences the values you model in staff and pupils. Over time, it shapes the culture you leave behind. Legacy, then, is not built through visibility, but through consistency. 1,000 small acts of values-led leadership that accumulate into trust. Some questions. What do you want people to say about the culture that you helped create? How will you measure the impact of your leadership beyond data? What values do you hope will remain in the school long after you have moved on? 6. Applying purpose to leadership practice. Consider 3 domains where your purpose should be most visible. Decision making. When faced with competing priorities, ask, which option most aligns with my core purpose? Relationships. Use your values as a lens for how you treat people, staff, pupils, parents, governors. Communication. Let your words reflect your why. Leaders who speak from conviction, not convenience, are remembered for the right reasons. Purpose doesn't eliminate challenge, it makes challenge meaningful. It transforms the long meeting, the late night, and the difficult decision into part of something that matters. When you've written these reflections, shape them into a single sentence that captures the heart of your leadership identity. This is the first draft of your leadership purpose statement. My leadership begins with purpose, a purpose that shapes every decision, every relationship and every act of service. Keep it visible. Read it before a tough meeting. Revisit it when you doubt yourself. Let it remind you that leadership is not about being perfect, but about being purposeful. So, closing thought. Before you lead others, lead yourself with conviction. Every great head teacher starts with a clear sense of why they lead. Purpose is not found once. It's rediscovered continually, refined by experience and strengthened through reflection. Headship will test what you believe in. That's its gift as much as its challenge. The clearer you are now, the more resilient, grounded and authentic you will be when the title changes. But the heart of your leadership remains the same. Please take some time to work through the accompanying workbook. Look at the questions, the reflections, the challenge. And until next time, thank you and goodbye.